So Linux utility we might get to today. Probably the big thing that I really want to do though is I've run into a lot of issues with the actual login. I'm using LightDM for a display manager here, and it's getting kind of problematic. So when I quit out of DWM, what ends up happening is it doesn't relaunch DWM properly because the display manager has like a bug with my configuration. So the solution here is just to get rid of it. Like that's the solution to everything. I'm like, okay, well, if it doesn't work, do we really need it? And the answer is no. There's nobody else logging into this PC but me, so why even have a display manager? Why even have that login manager to do these things? And the answer is you really don't need it. And I'm all about minimal these days. The less things you have going in your environment, the better it works. So that's the first order of business, and then probably look at maybe automating this setup as well. I don't know if we improve the DWM Titus install or we just work on Linux utility and then just say, hey, no matter what tiling window manager, here's how you set it up without a display manager. I think that would also be intriguing too. Let's see what is entailed with this first, and then we'll see how we can automate. Yeah, I mean, it's not really a new login manager. There's a lot of different ones you can go with. There's also lightweight ones you can do with a more heavy login manager like SDDM or GDM. They're actually called display managers in Linux, but really they're just a login manager. So the reason why they call display managers is usually it's picking Xorg or Wayland from that login screen. So it's technically a display manager is the terminology behind it, but that's why it's called that. Yeah, I mean, that's the thing about Linux is almost everything can just be removed. Like, you don't really need much of anything to get a functional system. Like, if you think, like, let's say you don't like systemd, which handles the initialization of your hardware. Well, you need something to initialize your hardware, but you could do like initd, you could do runit, you could do OpenRC. There's a bunch of other initialization projects basically to take the place of systemd. If you don't like your boot manager, right? That's what selects the operating system. Most things still use Grub because Grub's pretty awesome and you can do theming. I personally love Grub. But let's say you didn't, you could do systemd, and there's actually older ones that I never really mentioned that you could use. Or I think Refined is another one that's more agnostic. So you could actually, let's say you have a Hackintosh and you wanted to do a triple boot. You wanted Mac, Windows, Linux. You could do like Refine that would be support all three operating systems. I don't ever recommend the triple boot other than to make a YouTube video. It's cool, but it's not going to be long before it just messes up. Oh, Daggers. Thanks for the tier 3, man. Wow. Appreciate you, man. That's awesome. And yeah, so I really wanted to, I know I don't normally stream on this day too with Mondays, but I really wanted to get more into fixing things up and then improving all the GitHub projects as well. So this past weekend, I dedicated at least probably 15 hours just working on like the Linux utility and those types of things to just kind of keep pushing forward because I want all these projects to get fixed up. There's other fix-ups I want to do in Linux specifically. Arch Titus, DWM Titus, Debian Titus, and really start looking at those projects and kind of fixing them to be more standardized and fit right in with what we're doing. So that's the thought process behind it. You could do quadruple boot. You got VMs on top of all this. You got DistroBox. I mean, there's just containers. There's so many different ways to do anything you want to do on your computer. There's just an infinite amount. So anytime I ever hear someone say something can't be done, I'll be like, bet, let's do this. I love it when someone says, you can't do this. I'm like, all right, let's do it. Oh God, yeah, we got to update, Ethan, we got to totally update the Titus Pi project as well. So did you like the original, the awesome? You know, we should have, I don't think I ever updated Titus Pi to do just DWM. Oh gosh, we could totally do that. Because that's like my favorite. And it's so minimal. I actually have a box full of, I had such grand aspirations for Titus Pi. Yeah, I'll just share this. I have a box full of I think it was Orange Pie 800s, which is actually a decent. I mean, I don't know if it's decent nowadays. It's been sitting in the garage for 2 years, but I haven't really unpacked them or unboxed them. I was like, I'm going to make these and then I'm going to make 10 of them and then I'm going to sell them on my store. And I'm going to make a really concise thing with like a manual and all this other stuff with it. And then it just never really happened. So I spent all that money on that box of orange pies and then nothing ever came from it. I never got around to doing it. So maybe we tackle that soon too. I love that idea. I don't think an orange pie is better than a raspberry Pi. Specifically, the orange pie, last time I checked it, last time I checked the orange pie, I didn't like the images. They connected with just like a China-based server, and I always go through and like rip out everything that they do for customization, and then I change most of the repos around so it would be fast. So the stock settings on the orange pie kind of suck. I really didn't like it, but let's see, what are they doing for... Come on, guys. Just certbot this. Why is it HTTP? It should be HTTPS. Anyways, let's go download. Let's see what they have for this. And the one I bought just a crap ton of was this guy. It's all encompassing Orange Pi 800. You could hook it up like a secondary, like mobile workstation is kind of what I was thinking of. And the downloads, I want to say, yeah, they're still using Google Drive. Ugh. Yeah, I really wanted to do better on this. Now, the Debian image is probably what I would rock for this guy. And this hasn't been updated in 2 years. I wonder if they have like a third-party update, because that's going to be a lot of work, I think, is what I ended up doing. So you got Diet Pi, Reborn, Armbian. Probably Armbian is what I would choose. Is Orange Pi 800 on this list? Ah, damn. Of course. Well, no. There's an RK3399. That I think is what the chipset is on the Orange Pi 800. Do we have anything else? Yeah. It probably could work, or... yeah. It doesn't say Orange Pi 800, but we could probably do something like that. I like Armbian. But honestly, even a Raspbian OS, like from the Pi, probably would work, the actual Raspberry Pi. I like their images a lot. I mean, the first issue on LinUtil. All right, good stuff, Emo. Hey, if it's your first one, let's look at it. I always love to encourage people to contribute. Let's see what you got. Let's see. I know it's not these, so all those are. You must be AngX Deep. AngXD Deep. I'm telling you, someone's gonna do some word plays, and I'm gonna say something out loud. Anyhow, let's see. This allows the website to automatically switch between dark and light set in the browser. You're doing some GitHub pages modifications. Like it. So right now, theme set for that. Prefer color scheme light or prefer color scheme dark. Slate for the scheme. All right. Okay. Yeah, that looks good. Let's give it a whirl. Let's approve that. Pretty nice, clean PR for a first PR. Let's commit it and check it out. Have you used Zed Editor in Linux? I did, but I need to revisit Zed. Last time I used it, it was like in beta or practically alpha state on Linux, so it ran terribly. Now, having said that, I know the Zed team has put in a lot of effort to make Linux compatibility there. Last time I used it, though, it was pretty much just like a Mac first only editor, and I haven't revisited Zed since I think this past week they said they released officially on Linux, where the one I was using was like hacked together, built by myself from source. So yeah, need to check that out. Oh, he said issue, not PR. Oh, oops. Let's see. SO. What do we got? Ooh, I do want like a new page recommendation. I think probably the best way to do this is to see what people are installing from the applications page, and then I think we see what people are actually liking, and then going, okay, if it has less than like 1,000 installs, relegate it to like a pop-up, kind of like a button. To show this, let's see, I'll take a slight detour here. 1 second, guys. did I break something? It's too early. It's too early to be breaking stuff. QEMU, what you doing? I wonder why this is shut off. Well, it maybe? All right. I think we might have had like a failed shutdown or something, maybe. Some odd reason this was, I should have looked at my memory allocation. That's always a dead giveaway. If I'm not using 20 gigs of memory, Windows isn't running. All right, so that looks like it should be popping up soon. Looks over here, we got our graph. I usually on VMs, instead of like, I kind of just gotta get a feel for the CPU allocation. As soon as it gets over the peak, and then we start to get a little bit of normalization, usually around 10% or less CPU, then I'd say it's on the desktop, as I don't use a login on Windows either. So right now, probably sitting at about like 30%, and we should see a little bit more of a drop after I finish my swig. We should load it up. All right, now we're probably at 10%. Close this. Give me Windows. Bam. All right, cool. So our Windows is up and going in QEMU now. I was pulling this up for, I was pulling up for, man, I tell you, it's going to be an interesting stream. Ah, yes. I think it was something with the applications. Dual GPUs all the way. So let's launch into this guy. The new dev branch of Windows Utility. Ah, yes. Oh man, my drift user, I think is, I think that was the collaborator that put in like my little icon, and he even made like a really cool progress bar, and he did it through the icon like SVG set. Super interesting solution that I never would have thought of. So instead of, because whenever you put like a progress bar in here, since this is getting launched from PowerShell into the actual GUI, you can't put a progress bar into here unless you do like a binary or something from like C#. But the problem is when it's actually sitting there cranking away on the PowerShell, the GUI won't be able to reflect that progress bar, or at least I haven't been able to find a way to do it. So the solution here was, instead of putting it in here or here, instead you'd have like a little progress bar in the actual icon itself on Windows. And I was like, oh, that's a very interesting solution. But I was coming in here to, oh yeah, we do have quite a few. But yeah, I think having like a download counter for each one of these apps, and like maybe just as you hover over here, and then that way you know what's popular, what's not, and then the stuff that just never gets clicked on and used, we can make something like this. So right now we don't use oh no shut up anymore by defaults. So what happens, you can specifically run oh no shut up by clicking this and just go, where are you at? Oh no shut up. But you click this and then you can just go actions, apply only recommended settings. Nah, thanks. That's fine. So you have all that, and it's good. So the idea behind this is have your popular items right here, so you can just click, go. And then for like the more obscure stuff, have like a button over here. Like if you look, this little space right here, have a button over here, click it, and then it'll launch into a GUI that'll be able to recursively go through all of WinGet and then just install any application in existence that is able to install through a CLI, whether it's WinGet or Chocolatey. There's a lot of different ways, or even Scoop. That's kind of like the idea behind that, to really just make things powerful. And then this weekend, I added this. So anybody that sponsors me through GitHub, if you're on here, it'll actually go ahead and push you right into the utility. So a lot of the utilities I'm going to make to where it recursively grabs whatever's on here. So I thought that would be kind of like a cool little Easter egg for sponsors, as I'm really enjoying that too. So anyways, that was WinUtility. Sorry, I get sidetracked sometimes, but a fun endeavor this weekend where I kind of sat there and program stuff, where I did like an invoke REST method and then use PowerShell to kind of strip out everything and then grab all the sponsors and then push them into that little Easter egg in the settings menu. Yeah, install panel, app store. Why not both? That's my thing. Just make the install panel more of popular applications. Will Awesome Titus Pi work on Raspberry Pi 3B? I think so. Yeah, I think the very first iteration of it, and all that can be downloaded directly too. I put it on all the links and hosted it directly. I used to sell this through like the store, but I stopped doing it because I wasn't updating it and I didn't feel it was right to charge for it unless I was really dedicating a lot of time. So maybe I do in future release put it back into here, but you can actually see version 1 was the 2020 release, and then if you wanted like the BSPWM release in 2022, that's on here, and then the latest release was the 2023. Now I currently don't support the Raspberry Pi 5, but we got one right here. So plans are in motion to support Raspberry Pi 5 along with like Orange Pi as well for an actual official image. Watching me for 3 years. It's so cool. It's so cool to see so many people hang around and not get tired of me after, you know, whether it's 3 years. I've had some people that's been watching me ever since the beginning from 5 years. I know like Jennifer sometimes pops into chat, a few others too. Peter, he's been around forever. There's been a bunch of people from the beginning, which is kind of cool. And then there's people in the Twitch that has subscribed to me forever. I think like Tara has the longest sub streak right now, which is awesome. Thanks for the Prime. Yeah, Raspberry got expensive. How much are the Raspberry Pi 5s now? What do we got? Let's go buy now. Probably Micro Center has usually pretty good deals. $80. Yeah, that's not that bad. 8 gig Raspberry Pi 5 quad core. Yeah, I don't think it's very expensive for what you get. I mean, it's a fully functional computer. What color is your studio by chance? I don't know, like gray? It's a Nord theme. I always do the Nord theme everywhere I go. I'm big on Nord. I love me some Nord theme. Which way is that? It's that way. Okay. Yeah, there we go. All right. Let's get going on today's stuff. First off, order of business, title of the stream, Linux login. We got to get rid of LightDM. LightDM is annoying me. Probably the easiest way is use start X instead of LightDM. Let's see what we got. Let's see what we got on. Oh, geez. Arch. We got to give you a dark theme. Yikes. How do we want to do it? X profile or XNetRC? You could do that. But then you're going to get like a TTY/login screen, I think. We could also modify Getty, the login manager, and do it that way. Probably a little bit more elegant way of doing it than that, too. Don't you use an auto login? Yeah, I use auto login anyway, so what's the point of a login manager or a display manager? There's not really much of a point. So, I'm going to do here. Greet D. I like that idea as well, Phoenix. That's a good one. Because X in it, you still have the, you still gonna have to log in and it just auto launches once you log in. But I want either a fancy login or just bypass it altogether. And I think Greet D would probably be the best solution for that. Because modifying Getty directly, I don't like. There's too much bad things that can happen from a modification of Getty, which is basically how you log into Linux. Greet D smells like a Nix user. That's Phoenix though. All right, let's do Greet D. I agree. Phoenix always has some good ideas. Let's go Greet D and let's go auto login ArchWiki. So we're gonna just do Greet D, and I think that will be the way to go. Let's try it out. So let's remove our existing login manager, which is LightDM. What is the triggers to remove? Let's see, remove all packages. It's not in TLDR. There's a way to actually go recursively through the removal and also remove all the dependencies. You don't typically want to do that. Otherwise, you could nuke your system. Maybe even nuke like Xorg or something. So you got to RCNS. Thank you, chat. Thank you, Rat. Much appreciated. Paru, R, CNS. I kind of want to know what each one of those variables does, because R is obviously remove. The CNS, I wonder what the logic was behind those switches. Yeah. All right. Light DM. So what does it want to remove here? XORG server. See, you got to watch out. I knew it. It wants to remove XORG server. Oh, you tricky. No, let's not, don't do as I say. That's a bad idea. Let's not pull a Linus here. All right, here we go. Let's just go back into remove light DM, and then what we're gonna do is manually select these guys. So we're not gonna actually let it find the dependencies because it was about to remove XORG. Kind of funny. That's why you don't really want to go too crazy. Okay, so now we've removed our login capabilities through a login manager. It's gone. Now let's add greetd, and greetd will be installed, and greetd a greedy. All right, cool. Let's do it. So there we go. That's in there. Now we can just do a default session. And if we're reading the documentation, we just go into there and it's a TOML file. So we'll do that. Let's see. How do we want to do an auto login with greetd? It does look very minimal. Should have initial session. If you want a user to be logged in automatically, an initial session section may be defined in the config.toml. Command will be just, I think, can we just get away with doing startx, or should we do DWM? I feel like let's just paste it in and see what we get. What's the worst that can happen? Can't log into our system. That's the worst thing. I'll take that over last week's. Last week was pretty rough. Oh man. All right, so this is the default. Great. And I think the default session we can leave all the same. I feel like, do I have, if we look at this and we just go groups, I am in the video group right here. So I can just, I don't think we need to use the greeter. We'll just use Titus here, and let's use Titus here. All right. And let's use DWM. I feel like that would be enough. VT to run the greeter. This is like the TTY, is what VT stands for usually. I did some really fun stuff with like the 2020 Titus Pi, specifically with VT, because I wanted to shut down the desktop and then launch Emulation Station to like play emulated games. And that was kind of an interesting way to get better performance by basically shutting down all the processes that the desktop needs. And then launching a different VT session, and then coming back whenever that other VT session was activated, it would go ahead and launch back in the desktop. All right, well, let's reboot and see if we actually are able to log in, or we're greeted with a black screen. Sounds good. What's the worst that could happen? Yeah, let's give it a shot. Oh, I did forget to shut down my Windows 11 VM. Although that auto login script I have has been working pretty good. Yeah, I do want to expand on like the NixOS. I wonder, and this might, if Phoenix is still around, I might ask him on Nix env, since we would be doing modifications with NixOS, we probably don't want to do a configuration.nix file. But if we did Nix environment, we could set up like our own little environment inside of Nix, almost like its own container. I think that'd be pretty neat. Oh yeah, you finally catching me live. All right, Benz, yeah. What's going on today? Yeah, we're just fixing up some Linux. Been having some fun, kind of tinkering around, doing our thing in Linux. It's been a good time, and probably hit some LinUtil towards the end of the stream as well. I think we do need to push another stable update with all the fixes, because we have the last 3 dev fixes as somewhere in the neighborhood of about 100 pull requests, which is nuts. 100 pull requests, probably around 200 commits on this, just in the 2 weeks, I want to say, which is just a crazy amount of, crap, that didn't work. Well, All right, well, that greet D did not go as follows. Yeah, like a nix-env command is what I was talking about, Phoenix, instead of doing any modification to the actual nix file itself. Although we could do like a ridiculous amount of like awking and changing specific things in a nix.os file. It's just, dang, that would be such a pain. Just use SDDM, it just works. That's true, AH. Although, I'm kind of intrigued by greet D. Let's go greet D. Come back to it, because it is pretty minimal, and that's the thing that I like behind it. Wait, I know what happened. Did I make the rookie mistake and forget to enable it? I absolutely did. Let's just do now and see what happens. Yeah, that's what I thought. That's what I thought. Interesting. Well, I want to give it kind of a because we use StartX to launch DWM on this one. I kind of am curious to see what happens on this. I feel like it would auto log in, although leaving some of those stock settings with like the default session could throw a wrench in things as well. And yeah, why SH instead of bash? Also strange. That would be greet D. Probably need to set another variable and say, hey, make sure you're using bin bash instead of sh. But most of my scripts I've actually been modifying as of late to use sh instead of bash, because I'm more obsessed with like POSIX compliant or POSIX compliant, however you say it. And then sh works a bit faster than a bash script. So you get a little bit more speed with an sh script comparatively to a bash script, which I did not know until I really started tinkering around with it. And I think I got a PR from someone saying, hey, I shaved off a second of this, which was pretty awesome. You take your VODs out of behind a paywall like you did earlier, so then you enjoy. Oh, like Gray, if you want that, just go over to Titus Tech Talk. All the VODs get edited and uploaded there. So you just might have to wait like a couple days while I edit them, because I like to edit out all the silence in the streams. So it makes it a little bit easier on the rewatch than to have to sit through the entire VOD. So that's why I take all the VODs, private them, or make them members only here on Twitch. If you do want the completely unedited VOD, it'll be available for like, I think it's like 45 days or something like that. So that's just how I roll. Seems like a good happy medium between everything. It showed text cannot open DWM. Interesting. So the script itself is no good. Maybe we just do StartX and call it good. I think that's probably the best way to do it. So let's go with that. Why? Let's just switch to bash. I don't know why it's sh by default. Anyways, doesn't matter. Let's go and greet D. Was it config toml? So it said it couldn't do DWM. I don't know how y'all caught that. That's impressive. Let's switch to StartX. And I like that. Let's I don't think we need to reboot. Let's just do a system ctl and then restart greet D. All right, well, that did not work. Let's look at system ctl status greet D. It's active and running. So if we look, here's the last, I think it's the last tail of it. You can see session opened by Titus, greet D, configuration, config terminal. Do I see an error there? What is the solution here? Yeah, VT7. Here's VT3. All right, let's go. I actually don't have a VT7. Well, that's weird. Oh, let's try VT7. 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 is non-existent. Interesting. So we don't have a VT7. We could also reboot again, but I don't think that's going to do us anything. Yeah, I don't want to mess with bash profile and DWM login. It's kind of hacky. You really want to do like a StartX like this, and then it would launch in. That would be a better, more be the proper way of doing it. Less hacky. So like, let's just quit. Let's look at our greet D configuration file again. I want to say there's just something that's happening on greet D, specifically in the toml, like right here. What if I got an idea? Oh yeah, the A Getty. That's why it's doing SH. Good catch, chat. LightDM's been uninstalled, so we don't even have LightDM in here. I was gonna do like NixOS configuration. I'll show you here in a second, Phoenix, once we solve our login issue. This tells me the default session, an initial session. Let's ask Jippity. Let's ask old Jippity and see what the AI overlords say in this scenario. All right, let's go File, Open File. And this one, we're gonna go all the way to etc, grab greet d toml. All right, and then let's ask, be like, this isn't auto logging. It isn't auto login. Ah, so then you just apply that. So it wants to do something like this. Well, I kind of don't want it just doing that, but it is very interesting. So if we look at the history here, really all we're doing is the agetty -- auto login Titus and then the cmd bin bash. I think that makes sense. So really this is all we need to add, and then all our problems are solved. So let's actually sudo vim etc greet d, and then we're going to go config toml, and then right here toss that auto login, save that out, and then we just simply restart. And probably the easiest way, I think I added a little menu here. Honestly, a logout probably would work just as well as a reboot. Anyways, we'll reboot for now. There's actual variable to do that, OR, for displaying OS age. You could try cmd start x rather than shell, I guess. You could Razzo, but what happens when you actually need a TTY? That's going to be problematic, right? You'd have this infinite loop to where you wouldn't have access to your console. And that's not very, that's not good. Like, especially like when NVIDIA breaks on you. I mean, it could be fixed. You'd have to like do a live ISO, then do a ch root, and then get in doing that. But it would be way easier just be like Control Alt F3, go to TTY3, and then just log in and then just change. So that's why you wouldn't want to do like a CMD start X kind of style of login. This menu right here is a grub menu. Well, the problem is you're talking about changing the Getty. So like when you change Getty, this is how you log in through the console. So no, that's handling the logins, and you're changing the command from being an actual shell prompt to launching into a graphic interface. So all those shells could do is launch into a graphic interface. And that worked for us. Look at that. I love this solution because it's actually relatively elegant with no login. That is so much better. So why I like this is, let's say I'm doing something, I'm like, oh, I completely borked my DWM, or I need to relaunch. I can just kill the DWM process. Oh, problem. Yeah, never mind. Not a great solution. This gives me the same login loop I was talking about earlier. So if I go over to like TTY3, actually TTY3 is fine, but this one doesn't really, can I get to the, I can't. So you'd have to go to like TTY3. What happens? Is it going to auto launch DWM? No, it won't. Okay. pkill -user Titus. And then if we look back on TTY1, still kind of jacked up. Okay, well, yeah, we can undo. It wouldn't be a big issue. Yeah, I'm trying to think. Now you could just do a restart of system D, but the idea was to drop out into prompt. I don't really like it. The problem here is whenever I quit DWM, I want it to drop me to just a plain TTY console. Instead, it's kind of borked. LightDM had the same issue. I guess we could try SDDM. I really wanted to get away from like a heavy display manager, but all right, just do that. Command DDM, or we could just do command start X. Yeah, it's probably just start X. Now that I'm thinking about it, thanks, just Linux user. I think that's exactly what it should be. So what I think this should actually look like is before we instead of just using startx, let's do a which startx. So the USR bin startx is probably what I want to use. And then from here, this one should be USR bin, and we'll do startx, and then get rid of this entire thing right here. Let's just go delete G. And I feel like this would actually be a little bit better. But maybe the default session should be, wait a second. What if, all right, 1 second, AH. Don't spam. Hold on. Just delete the auto login. Yeah, the problem is I want it to auto log in on the initial session only, but not the default session. So like, yeah, you could use this on KDE, you could use it on everything, but KDE already has SDDM built in. It's actually a dependency of the KDE operating system. So you'd be better off just using SDDM with auto login. And it actually has a little GUI for it. It's stupid simple. So I shout out to the KDE team there. It's just a bit on the bloated side. That's all the thing is, when you could do something this easy from here as I struggle with it. Let's see. Yeah, the logout menu is just a Rofi menu that I designed this past Saturday. I need to probably look into that a bit more. Auto login's not a valid argument. Okay. All right, so chat's saying we did get auto login working with this, but instead of start X, because this is the default session, do we even need this? Is probably so. Yeah, the thing is, this is just going to give me a prompt. I'll show you though. So let's quit out. Let's reboot. You'll see what I mean. The thing is the initial session should, in theory, here's how I want it to work. The initial session should log me into DWM, but when I quit out of DWM, I want to make sure the default session is used. And that would give me a bash profile, maybe even a login. I don't care. And that's kind of what I want. Now, in its current configuration, how I anticipate it working right now is the auto login isn't going to work, and it's just going to present me with a TTY login. I log in, and we just get a bash prompt. I think it's completely ignoring the initial session. Yeah, the cursor text editor has AI built into it. You could also integrate that directly. If you don't want to use cursor and you're using like VS Code right now, you could install the extension called Continue. And Continue can do like local LLMs, such as like Olama, Claude, all of those. Oh, well, I was wrong. That worked perfect. Why didn't that work the last time I did it? Yep, just Linux users right. You're a smarter man than me. So when I quit, I get my login, and then I got my start X. Oh, that's cool. I wonder what I did the first time around. I swear that was the configuration before. Now, I'll have to look at the VOD and figure out what I did wrong the first time, because that's how it was actually set up. Maybe it was still SH. It could have been. Maybe that was the issue. So if you look at what are the final product to make this auto log in and behave how we want it is this. So the default session is what you want to configure, so it has like a login. It doesn't auto launch into anything, because auto launching on a default session, you run into that loop we had before, which wasn't any good. And the initial session is our auto login. So pretty minimal. I like that. That's not so bad. I do want to change my keyboard around a little bit though, based on this. So I can just hit one key to do that session. I did fix my keyboard, by the way, from a prior stream. So right now that's there. So let's just do Control Alt. So we have F1 and then F3. So whenever I inevitably screw up my Linux install again, I can just push that button. It'll just flip me over to TTY3, and then push this button to go back to TTY1. I like that. All right, cool. So now if I go TTY3, TTY1, pulls it right back in. So then I can hit console with a push of a button really easily. Nice. All right, cool. Well, first issue of the day, check, done. I do like greet D. now that we understand kind of the syntax and just leaving that default syntax with sh, definitely change that to like bash or zsh, depending on the shell you use. Oh, yeah. Can't believe you're still using Arch after the prior stream. At this point, it's like, I don't want to. One big thing I did do based on just interactions with chat and some suggestions. One, we switched out to the Linux LTS kernel because we had I think it was 6.9 had an issue with the NVIDIA driver, and the NVIDIA driver hadn't quite updated yet. If I would have waited like a day, I'm sure it would have been fine. But instead of that, I did Linux-LTS. Then also I purged the DKMS modules and headers that were needed. Instead of doing a custom kernel like Zen or any of that, I decided to go NVIDIA-LTS. So we're actually using LTS kernel and LTS graphics drivers now. So we shouldn't run into that problem again. Knock on wood. I know. Who could believe that NVIDIA drivers on Linux would be a problem? That never happens. Some things. What is that Matrix quote? Some things change, and yet other times some things never do, or some crap like that. But NVIDIA drivers in Linux, always a problem. All right. Oh yeah, the NixOS thing. Let's see. I'm just baiting Phoenix over here. Oh yeah. Let's look at that PR. Someone was doing a PR for the Linux utility specifically. Let's go LinUtil. And if we look, there's a NixOS. Now, I kind of wanted to get your feedback on this because Phoenix is really big on a lot of NixOS stuff. So right now, we're just gotten Debian, which is Debian Ubuntu uses apt. You got DNF for RHEL-based stuff like Fedora. You know, a couple other ones that fit into there as well, like Bazite. Actually, no, Bazite's more immutable, so this wouldn't even work on that. That would be Nabarro it would work on. Then you got Pacman, which is all your Arch-based systems, so CatchyOS, Manjaro, Arch, of course. And then Zypper's your OpenSUSE and OpenSUSE derivatives. So what he's doing is adding NixEnv to install some of this. Now, I don't think this will necessarily work directly on NixOS, but it could work pretty well with people that are using another type of distribution, but using the NixOS installer or the package manager. So I kind of like this, but it doesn't really make NixOS compatible. Thanks so much for the tier 1 commander and also the prime from Gubble. Nope, this feels so wrong. But it would give more compatibility for those where it doesn't detect a package manager. So let's say it misses apt, DNF, and Pacman and Zypper. Let's say someone's using like Clear Linux or some weird off the ball thing, and then they're using Nix package installer. This would make it compatible, which isn't so bad. I think that's okay. Doubt new Linux users would choose Nix. Yes, Peter, but we can steer them towards Nix as well. Like, not necessarily the actual operating system or the distribution of NixOS, but we can utilize the NixOS package manager. And if you're not familiar, let's say you're watching this, you're like, Titus, what are you blabbing on about with Nix? Nix package manager is actually one of the best standalone package managers. I even said it back in April of 2022 on the old Twitter. And basically what it is a one-line command. It installs on pretty much every distribution in existence in Linux, and then you can use NixEnv to install a whole bunch of different packages. Think of it like Flatpak or App Image, but in a more global environment. So even immutable distributions such as SteamOS or Bazite, you could do like a Nix install, and or even like Homebrew if you're a Mac user out there. This would be much like that iteration in a Linux setting. So I love the Nix package manager, absolutely. NixOS I love as well, but it's more for like sysadmins is really what that distribution is meant for, because you can replicate your setup. Like I could completely wipe out this system and load my configuration setting, and I'll be back in NixOS with that configuration, just perfect. So that's why I do that. PJ, thanks for the Prime. 2 months now. All right. I'm on a roll. Starting to see a lot of new viewers, which is great. I love it. Would you add support for Universal Blue or RPM OS tree support? Absolutely. Like, Bazite's still one of my, probably my favorite recommendation for people coming to Linux that want to game. Like, if you're a gamer and let's say you're not like you're somewhat technically savvy, but you're like, I don't know about this Linux thing, I would probably recommend Bazite to you because you can't really break it. It's a lot harder to break. Having said that, I did end up breaking my instance, but that was pretty funny how that all transpired. I got it all documented on the channel, but like 99.9% of users wouldn't be doing all the stuff I was doing in my Bazite because I was doing like PCI pass-through and doing a bunch of like layered implementations on Bazite just to kind of push it to this extreme level. Most normal people are never going to touch a tenth of what I was doing with Bazite, much less break it. So that's why I still love Bazite as a recommendation for gamers coming to Linux, just because it's a really good spin of it. And it's good. So weirdly enough, gaming is a thing that I have the least issues with since switching to Mint 2 years ago. You know, Mint's still a very solid distro. I've always loved Mint. What terminal do you recommend? Kitty. Kitty's what I've used for a long, long time. Love it. A lot of like your more elitist Linux users are going to like Alacritty a lot better. Alacritty's like Kitty, but it's a little bit less bloated, they would say. And then probably for a user friendliness standpoint, what do we think, chat? WizTerm probably, or, you know, Terminator's still kicking. That was one of my first terminals. Terminator, Linux. Yeah. Wait, was this? Yeah. Where's the GitHub of this? Yeah, it's like a GNOME-based terminal, but it has a lot of GUI like attached to Terminator. Here, I'll just show you. Shit, let's just install it. I haven't messed around with it in like a long time. This is the beauty of Linux is you can be like, hey, I don't know about that. Let's go to a new one. Terminator. Oh man, it brings me back. It really brings me back. So like you can actually right click and go like preferences, and here let's bring that over here. So then you have all this stuff right here. So then you can like do always on top, then you can kind of change things. It has a pretty decent menu of what to do, and like let's say you want to configure Meslo LGS mono nerd font. Where's LGS? It's my favorite. Ooh, gotta use it. So I'd probably do LGS nerd font mono. Yeah, probably like a 16-point old man font. And we got that, and then you can change like colors. You can change like opacity. Let's go transparent. All right, that looks good to me. Scrolling, you can change scroll back lines. You probably want at least 5,000, probably like 10,000 is usually what I roll with. Title bar, you know, I really don't like the title bar, so I usually just take that out. That's kind of like that thing over there. And I think that's pretty much like the base ones. So then you come back and you notice, oh, wait a second. Which one is it? At the end of the day, you really don't notice much difference between the two, do you? It's just this has a scroll bar, which you can actually make that disappear. So now, a little bit different. This is Terminator. This is Kitty. But this is all configured through a GUI. So like if you're a GUI person, have at Terminator. I think it's still a great project. For a while there, I thought it was deprecated, but I think somebody picked up the reins and it's still highly developed. And if you like just config files and all in terminal, Kitty's kind of what I roll with, as I've just kind of modified all my configs exactly how I like it. So then, you know, I just run my Linux utility and then I do my configuration. So that's kind of my thing. Calum, how's it going? We're working on the docs. I appreciate your efforts there, Calum. It's been great. I love the new GitHub pages in the WinUtil. It's been great. Remember when you thought you used Meslo and it was actually Fire Code? Oh God, Phoenix. For the longest time, I thought I was using Meslo. For months, maybe years. I think I've had that in my config file. And I'm like, oh gosh, that's funny. But oh well. I feel like Alacritty's faster than Kitty. I think so too. I think I think that is actually a true statement. Kitty does seem a little heavier than Alacritty. So I would say the Linux elitists are probably right. I think they are right. I just prefer Kitty. And maybe I have to do Alacritty one of these days, and then I will see the light. But usually I like to hold on to my terminals for at least a couple years, and then I'll finally be like, all right, let's try it out. Alacritty equals Rust. Oh, so Alacritty's written in Rust, Kitty's written in Python. That's probably the biggest thing. The fastest terminal is actually foot. Oh, interesting. Alacritty. Okay, fine. Let's try Alacritty. Alacritty. Yeah. All right. So let's look at Alacritty. So here's Alacritty. All right. Does it have like a generate config so then we can just kind of modify everything? It does not have a config file generation. All right, well, fine. Let's go into Alacritty. Dang. So where do you migrate the config file? I recently switched from Kitty to Alacritty. So there's no literature for Alacritty. Yes, totally turned into a terminal stream. All right, well, that's okay. We have the internet. Alacritty example config. Config example master. Oh, that is a lot. All right, cool. Well, let's just copy the raw file, right? Make directory. Let's go cd.config. Can we like control shift plus plus? How do you increase your font in Alacritty? What's the default key binding? Nope. It's all in the config, of course. Of course. Like a true Linux user. It's config file only. No hotkeys. Control plus plus? Yeah. And we found that was a lie. Control plus plus. No. All right. Well, fine. Alacritty. Let's do a wget. All right. Let's grab the official YAML. And if we look here, let's start setting things up. For the terminal, we could try Alt plus plus. No. Control Alt. Control Shift. Control Alt Shift. I'm gonna probably end up finding another hotkey that shuts down my system or something. All right, well, let's look. Increase font size equals command. Okay, so equals, control equals. Oh, yeah. Okay, so it's just control equal. I was used to control shift, and then that would add it to equal or equal plus. This is actually the same one. So we were very, very close. It was just I was adding an extra keystroke. So just control equal. All right, decorations, button list, startup. Let's go full screen. Default background opacity. We're going to delete that. Let's go 0.8. What do you guys? Actually, you know what? I kind of feel like a little bit more opacity. Let's go 7. Feeling wild. 0, disable scrolling. Scroll back. No, maximum numbers for scroll back buffer. 0 will disable scroll back. Ooh, that's the default? Ooh, brother. Ooh. All right, number of lines. Number of lines the viewport will move. Every line scroll back is enabled. History graded 3. Don't know what that multiplier means, but okay. Interesting. So save that out. And font. Zvaka. Zvaka. It's fun to say, but nothing beats Maslow. And style. Who uses light? Mono is where all the chads are at. All right. I think that's fine. Oh, okay. Style. We're going to go 16 point. I feel like, let's just take that. Interesting. Anyways, let's paste that. Alrighty. Everybody's like, check out my config. All right, just Linux user, I trust you. Let's see what we got. Let's go with that. I'm sitting here just trolling you all. All right, fine. Yeah, let's move this back. I'll grab it from y'all. Everyone's linking the same one. All right. Oh, that's interesting. So if we look at this, that's kind of just a very simple. You're grabbing all your keybinds right here. Live config, working directory none, themes. Well, we got to get a Alacritty Nord theme, of course. title, Alacritty. But you know what? I kind of want to add all this into a single file. I know it should be better and granular, but well, nah. I think breaking it up is fine. Yeah. All right, fine. So we got our keybinds we'll grab as well. Let's just grab the raw file here. All right. Instead of editing all this right here, let's just remove the Alacritty here. Let's grab the TOML file. Let's grab our keybinds. Let's copy that. Actually, I think we can just grab this guy. And we'll grab our keybinds. And then we need an Alacritty Nord theme. All right, Nord theme Alacritty. Where's your TOML? Okay. Color scheme, Nord template. Where are you at? Releases. Source code. Source Nord. I just want the one file. I don't want to download a whole zip. Or I could just go to Alacritty-theme. Maybe. So it's TOML instead of YAML. Okay. That's interesting. How did you configure StartX? You just install xorg xinit, and then I think all you need is just the .xinit file. So if you do like a cat xinit rc, you can see it's just launching like Pipewire, Wire Plumber. Oh, actually, I don't even think I have those. Oops. 1 second. Detour. Yeah. That's what it should look like. So very, very easy. Very simple for the xinit. And xinit is launched as soon as you do StartX. So this was done last year. It should be in source probably. Nord YAML. Why is that YAML instead of TOML though? Because if we look back on this fin and we look at the Alacritty TOML, you can see that right there. Okay, Alacritty theme. Everyone said follow this. My word. My word. All right, here we go. There we go. That's all I wanted. That's all I wanted right there. Perfect. Google failed me, as it does many times these days. All right, wget nordic.toml. All right, now we got Alacritty, keybinds, and Nordic. Let's take a peek at those keybinds. So we have key 1, control 1, control 2, control 3. That does a special character, it looks like. Chars, I'm not sure what that does. T, control T creates a new window, aka a tab. Break pane into a new window, so this will split your screen with a control shift. Detach tmux session is a Z. Close window pane is a W, control W. Open flokes. What the heck is floax? I don't know. List windows is control shift W. And then of course, control shift Q is to quit session. I use just, super Q for that. Not a big deal. And then you got your splits. Source the config file is just a control shift R. Might have that bound in DWM actually. Oh, it's a tmux plugin. Oh, this right here, this switch tabs. Yeah, I really don't use tabs. I mean, I could. I don't have anything, I think, bound to that. So I think it would be fine. We'll leave it. We'll leave it for now. It's just good to know about. That's why I was just looking at it. If I had any like conflicting keybinds with DWM, just remove it all together. Yeah, I guess. I don't really use tmux. All right, fine. You guys are right. You all are right. I'm listening. I look at me. I'm listening and reading chat. Mostly. All right. Keybinds going in the trash. And config Alacritty. And we'll just go Nordic. TOML. All right, that looks good. Font size. Let's just go Meslo LGS nerd font. Style. Who uses a regular font in terminal? 9.6. That seems very, that seems very specific. Let's try a 14 point. I feel like actually I kind of want a little bigger. I know y'all are making fun of me. I can hear you going, old man with your giant font. Oh, that was Kitty. I was about to say, oh, that looks good. Okay. So this is Alacritty. Let's go into, here, we'll just do Alacritty and this is Kitty. Let's go side by side. So this, obviously, the big thing of why this looks a little different is this one has not as much opacity. The opacity is a little bit too much here. That's why it looks washed out. Yeah. So probably what we do is do like .config. Let's go no kitty, and let's go kitty.conf. So you can see, what do? We did 16 points, cursor blink interval, scroll back lines, what, blah, blah, blah. I think the big thing here is, what did we do for opacity? Let's go opacity. What the hell did kitty call this? Oh, mono ain't a style. Use regular. That's funny. Where did I put the 0.9? Did I put 0.9? I feel like I did. I just want to find it in the kitty configuration. I must have scrolled past it. Y'all are distracting me. It's all your fight. It's all your fault. All your fault. It isn't. Okay. Let's just grab this right here. All right. Yeah, background opacity right there. Okay, cool. So let's go vim.config Alacritty, and then we're just going to go alacritty.toml. And what we're going to do now is fix our font, nerd font mono. That is not a style. Ugh, noob. All right. And then our opacity set to 0.6. I think a 0.8. You know, 0.9. We'll agree with chat. You guys haven't steered me wrong yet. So now close that out. And then we have this. So that's kitty. And then if we look at Alacritty. So how's a good way to benchmark these things? Yeah. How do we benchmark to look at the difference between kitty and Alacritty? Yeah, so this is kitty. I do like the kitty theming a little better. I feel like that's a little bit more on point. I mean, we could obviously fix that though. Oh yeah, just do a time Alacritty. All right. So 0.149. And then if we go time kitty, and you got user, or actually no, sys is a little bit less, but user's a little bit more. I mean, we're talking about, man, we're splitting some hairs here. This is such a Linux user thing right here. So ridiculous. We're talking like milliseconds. Oh man. Okay, that's not a good benchmark. What's a good benchmark? Create a big file and then count out file. Okay, just Linux user. Let's do that. Yeah, don't spam. No all caps needed. You don't need to shout at me. We'll go. All right, let's see what we got. DD input file urandom. We're gonna go 1 gig and then time out file. Okay, let's do this. Copy. All right, here we go. So from our root directory, this is creating an out file that is 1 gig full of just random stuff. Oh crap, that is 5 gigs. Well, let's cancel that. Oh dang, I already almost hit 5 gigs there. That's kind of impressive. Out file. Fill up my hard drive. Let's just do a gig. Okay, so now we got an out file full of random digits in our home directory. So if we go time, out file. Oh, let's go time cat out file. So that's the output. So the real time is 0.299. So almost 0.3 basically. So now we quit out of this. We launch kitty. Let's go time cat out file. All right. Do we have any other tests that Alacritty actually shows that it's better? Because that wasn't it. Just a cat out file. Oh, you guys want like a straight cat. Okay. Maybe bat is actually modifying this. Okay. Bash cat out file. I think y'all are crazy. Okay. Okay. User bin cat and then out file. So, all right. Well, before we do that, let's it's kind of funny. The Kit Kat, thanks for the prime. All right, let's try that again. Let's do a time. User bin cat out file. All right, we're in kitty. It's gonna spit out a bunch of stuff. Let's roll. All right, so now this should give us a good benchmark on the elite Alacritty kernel versus Kitty on the draw. I don't know if this is a good benchmark or not, but we're doing it because I'm tired of all of the people jumping in the chat and going, Kitty's for noobs, Alacritty's better. So I actually want to get an actual definitive benchmark saying that. So far, I mean, obviously for what I do, I really don't care. Honestly, if we're being real here, how much does it really matter? If it's not double Kitties, or twice as good as Kitties, I should say, about half the time of Kitty on the cat, I'm probably not even going to bother switching. But should be fun. Yeah. Twitch and YouTube right now are going, what is this Titus guy doing right now? The 1 gig might be too big. Should we have done 1 meg? All right. All right, cool. So that was 1 minute and 9 seconds. This is a pretty big benchmark. Yeah, 1 meg's too small. So this was 1 gig. This is amazing. I think it's great. So Kitty decided afterwards to just completely crap the bed. So this is what us normal people have been using, Kitty. Now we switch to the elite terminal that every neckbeard in Linux swears by, Alacritty. We're going to run this command right here. Same command in the elite terminal. What happens? I don't know. Did I forget to copy it? All right, well, let's just go. All right, here we go. And now, let's go. Okay, that is a lot faster. I mean, that's going to finish in a lot faster time. We're going to get sub 30 seconds? Man, that is fast. Maybe? I love how it just says at the top, broken. Oh man. All right, so we went from 1 minute 9 seconds down to 26 seconds. Yeah, that's faster. That is faster. All right, Rust. I love how at the end of this, it's like, I don't know what just happened. Why'd you do this to me? I love how it broke all of the streaming. All right, I wonder what's up with the, I'm kind of curious to see why it does this at the end when you do it. Such a massive cat. Yeah, let's just do a cancel. All right, very cool. I mean, I like it. I think I want to adjust the colors though. I kind of want to match my Kitty configuration. The Kitty theme was better. So let's steal it. As with everything in Linux, just find what's better and then go, hey, let's have the best of both worlds. I like having my cake and eating it too. So let's go kitty.conf. And what we're looking here is, oh wait, no, cat.conf, kitty nord. So this is the colors for Kitty. And what I want to do here, actually, probably a better way. Let's just do NeoVim for this. Let's go Alacritty and Vim, Alacritty or actually no, Nordic.toml. So this is what this one looks like. So let's come over here and what we're going to do, go back, Kitty. Can we go back in directory? Best way to open a file. Thought we could just go like .kitty.toml. But maybe. I wish Fuzzy Finder worked in this regard. Is it dash? Or I could do like a project and then just look for Kitty. That would also work. But so we have home Titus config, but we should have Kitty in here as well. Yeah, there it is. And then if we look over here, now we got Nord. All right. So we have Nord right here. And if we look, what's the Nordic theme, background, foreground. So we can just take this guy, foreground, paste, and background, yank. I think that background's very close, but not quite. Now for the colors normal, looking at the RGB, I wonder if this one, yeah, the colors right here is a little bit off, but 8.1, A1, C1, this one actually is a little brighter. It looks like 8.1, C1. No, yeah, this one's darker. Okay. And then we got bright. I wonder how you specify colors.normal and colors.bright. I think It's just a little different based on how Kitty handles things. Very, very subtle though. Let's, I think it's fine. So let's just save this out. And so here's our Kitty. And now, if we look at Alacritty, it's brighter for comparison, side by side. I know this is such a small thing. You all are gonna laugh at me. I just think the rendering is just a little sharper in like Kitty compared to Alacritty. You are faster over here with Alacritty, but I feel like the rendering is better with Kitty. I don't know. Like Kitty, Alacritty. Maybe I'm splitting hairs here, but it sure feels like it. Like look at the Arch logo, right? That's the Arch logo. And then if we just launch Kitty, you guys are like placebo effect. I'm just sucking on some copium right now going, no, Kitty's really not that bad, guys. I swear. All right, fine. It does seem like these are bold and then the Alacritty is not bold, but I added the same fonts. It does seem a little off. But the Alacritty is, the opacity is both 0.9 in both though. I made sure we have complete parity in that regard. Yeah, we just set it to mono. We could just do, instead of regular and then go into bold. We could. Oh yeah, Gain. We did a surprise stream today. I've been trying to stream more. I made a video today on YouTube and I was like, hey, I want to do more development work and just kind of mess around a bit more. I just enjoyed like configuring things a bit more than I do making videos. I still like making videos like maybe once every 2 weeks or so, and then they'd be just bigger videos doing more things. All right, we're switching to Alacritty. Y'all have converted me. Is it in Debian though? Distro box. Enter Debian. Create a new image. Distro box. Go home. You're on drugs. List. What do we have? Debian Bookworm is what the... Why did I name it Debian Bookworm? Should rename that. Distro box. Enter Debian Bookworm. So in Debian Bookworm, what does apt say? Apt install Alacritty. Alacritty. Okay, well, it is there now. So Alacritty's in Debian Bookworm as well. Just wanted to make sure on that one. All right. I was about to say, well, maybe Kitty's only in the repos in Debian. Once upon a time, that was true, but not anymore. All right, let me check that out for you. What do we got? Oh, that's interesting. Let's see what we got. So if we look here and we come down to fonts, we did not specify this right here. Now we could just, what happened? Uh-oh, font.normal. Invalid table header. It broke. It did. Oh, all right, we're fine. Just required me to read one of them things. Yank that, and we'll just paste this guy in. Paste this guy in. All right, cool. So now we got Meslo, we got our bold italic. Let's see what this looks like now. Okay, I think that is what we needed. It does look better, I think. Can we see a difference? Okay, yeah, we didn't have bold and italics specified, so it did look a little different. Now, all right, I'm having trouble seeing the difference now. Colors do seem a little different. They are. The RGBs or the hex addresses are just a bit different. Now I could sit here and tweak them and make them exactly the same, but it's pretty close. All right, thanks for making the PR, man. I love it. Here are the professional terminal benchmarks from Ghostly Dev. Oh, I love seeing that. Oh, did it? All right, let's go. All right, Ghostly Dev log. All right, let's see. What do we got for the benchmarks? Ghostly now uses blah, blah, blah on Apple with AVX2 available, blah, blah, blah. Even more dramatic. Do we have like a too long, didn't read? I don't want to read all this. I don't care that much. Come on. Give me. Okay, here we go. So you have Ghostly. Oh, Ghostly was a terminal editor or terminal. The new version's 73 milliseconds. Alacritty 66. iTerms 470. Dang, iTerm. Mac user. And then Kitty has a SIMD branch that actually comes down to 100, but standard Kitty is almost 400 milliseconds too. Yikes, that's pretty rough. Terminal app in Mac OS is 124. Oh, God, it's so ugly though. You couldn't pay me money to use the stock terminal app in Mac OS. Do better, Apple. You're $1 trillion company. You can do better than that piece of garbage. Anyways, and then Wes terms, nice middle ground at 140. Wes terms pretty popular, especially among ricers. Kitty's what I've been using for quite some time, and Alacritty's kind of elite users. Ghosty and iTerm, those are like probably Mac applications. Nobody in Linux uses those. And yeah. Okay, cool. Well, that's neat. Neat thing. I mean, honestly, when all's said and done, just use what works best for you. Whatever you can get through. Ghost TTY. Okay. I don't think I've ever used Ghost TTY. And Westterm uses Lua. Is it in the repos? I know this has turned into just a terminal stream, but I'm just kind of interested. Ghost TTY. Oh, it's just in the AUR. Not interested. Yeah, Ghost TTY is not available yet. Oh, it says it's right here. We can build it. Here, let's just build it. Let's see what everyone's raving about with Ghost TTY. Right, yeah, sure. I looked at all that. Looks good to me. Do you want to add this fingerprint to your machine? Sure. Yeah. Failure. All right. Well, fun. The Git doesn't work yet, but hey, worth a shot. Now let's change our configuration from Kitty to Alacritty and join the ranks of the elite neckbeards on Linux. All right. Config. Let's do a Git pull just in case. Oh, wow. Okay. We got our Git pull. What do we have? We should be okay. We're up to date with main origin. Now let's just change our config.h. And what do we do with Kitty? Actually, let's undo that. Let's just go yank and paste. And what we're going to do is Alacritty. And we have Kitty somewhere else, right? Yeah. Alacritty. Ritty. Fat finger and everything today. All right. That looks good to me. Let's clean install this bad boy. Bam. Done and done. Quit out. Launch back in. And now we are part of the master race of Alacritty users. You all should know by now when you're like, don't do that. It's not available yet. I'm like, well, let's do it anyways. It's fun. Oh, old DWM, man. I love DWM. Oh, yeah. Let's push that to main. Push it to main. All right. What do we name this one? Joining the ranks of elite neckbeards. There we go. Me and my descriptive commits. All right, cool. DWM has a Wayland version. It's called DWL, which is pretty cool. I just like Xorg, man. Eventually I'll switch to Wayland. It's inevitable. It's just, I don't know. I mean, I plan on living to be 100 years old, so I probably somewhere in my 70s or 80s, probably switch to Wayland. I feel like that's probably it's on track for around that time for me to actually switch. So, you know, give it another 20, 30 years to bake. I'm sure we'll get there. Hopefully sooner, probably. Well, considering that a lot of distros are purging Xorg from their repos, I think it'll actually happen sooner than that. Probably 5 years. But it's just kind of like an ongoing joke in the Linux community that Wayland's going to be ready. Wayland's better. Wayland's, you know, doesn't have nearly the legacy code of Xorg and has more contributors and all this other stuff. But like that's what everyone's been saying for at least 10 years. And it's just, it always, oh, maybe next year. But it does feel like Wayland has added a lot of adoption this year. All right. So we've gotten this done. I think we've done a commit here for Alacritty. What else do we have? Dang, it's already 1:30. All right. Let's go. We've done the greeter. That. Now I think we need to upload this and expand LinUtil, right? Let's go over to LinUtil. I'm going to do a poll. I don't know. Yeah, I had a whole bunch of updates this weekend. So now we're up to date with main. I think for this one, I will pull up cursor for this just to have both. And let's go into source commands. So we have kitty setup, Rofi setup. I think we're going to do a directory and call it .files. And then we're going to move kitty setup into .files. And then we're going to move Rofi setup into .files. Go into .files here, just so we have better organization. Now we're going to copy kitty over into Alacritty -setup.sh. Perfect. So now we have those guys. Now, looking at the list format, we need to fix it. And if we look, kill that. Here's our .files. So this right here should be .files. And then this one right here should be .files. Perfect. And we're going to add a new node, copy that. And we'll just make it up here. Alacritty. So if any ever wants to steal my setup that we just did, we'll have it. So every time I do something like this, where I add an extra step or an extra setup, I'm going to just make automation tools directly in the toolbox. So then you'd be like, hey, I like your kitty config, or I like your Alacritty config. You can just be like, I'm going to grab that. And then you're good to go. So that's good. Now we just got to fix Alacritty. And where is it pulling this from? I think we need to copy this over into DWM. Let's go DWM. If we look at the config, I want to say we have kitty and Rofi here. Let's do a copy recursive. And we're going to just come into config Alacritty and put it right here. So now we have Alacritty over here and Alacritty config. Toss those up. And we didn't need to do the keybinds. I'll leave the keybinds because it's not really there anymore. But if we do want to do custom keybinds, we can easily grab it in the future. So now with that, we'll do setup. We got our sudo setup. We have the package handlers. I feel like for these functions, there's a lot of stuff getting reused in each one of these setup scripts. I feel like we should have like a common folder with specifically like check environment and command exists and these things, and then just include them. And I think we could just do an include in bash scripting. I feel like breaking that out and then just having this as its own thing. So then we're not just redoing it each time. But then again, having the include files could be problematic on new setups as well. Ooh, I don't know. I don't know on that. I'm gonna think. Yeah, so what I'm gonna do here, yeah, I'll leave it as one file right now, but I feel like this should be a common include because this really isn't changing around at all. And all of these scripts are gonna be utilizing it. Let's do it. And I don't know how well this will work, but from a programming standpoint, most people would have like a common common script .sh. I think we can just do common script with no extension. Paste that in, right? Paste it. Oh no, what happened? Oh well, we'll grab it over here. So we got common script. Can we even do this? I don't know. Can I link a common script for bash scripting? Yeah, so yeah, I thought we could just source it. That's right. So you just source the file and then go on your way. That makes sense to me. So what this looks like is, I don't want to do bash. We're going to do sh. I kind of want to do like a -e. I think when I was looking things up and I was doing some research on scripting specifically, if you do -e, if there is a problem like running sh or something like that on any system, it'll just exit instead of trying to go forward and just spitting tons of errors out. So I think that's probably the way to go. And let's just go ahead and rename this and add the sh extension. So we'll have the common script, Alacritty, and that. And I don't think there's anything specific in here. Yeah, that all looks really nice. So then we just source ... It should just be common script. I wonder why it had 2 dots. Ah, I gotcha. So for sh, you can't do source. Source is a bash command. For sh to be like POSIX compliant, you need to do dot instead of source. Not following dot dot. Common script was not specified as input. See shell. Common script actually dot sh. Now it should be fine, and then that'll be okay. What is it saying? For the code present, get there, not following, not specified. So it's actually shell checks kind of throwing an error going, hey, what the hell are you doing here? Okay, that makes sense to me. Modify shell check in VS Code. So we can just do Control-Shift-P, preferences, open JSON, and then go shell check args. All right, fine. So let's do Control-Shift-P, shell check, and then I think, type preferences, and open settings, JSON. Perfect. I think we can just go shell check arguments in here. I wonder why lang is there. Oh, chat's broken? Oh no, that's what's happening. YouTube reigns supreme. It might be this new update I'm doing. Oh no, 1 second, let me get it. Hold on, Twitch, hold on. All right, let's there's a bug in the matrix. Damn it, OBS. Now that work? Uh-oh, Twitch is having problems, guys. Uh-oh. Rutro Scoob. We are running into a problem. All right, that's okay. I have contingency plans in place for this exact thing. That's all right. Opening up my contingency plan now. All right. 1 second. And then I just add one more thing. Perfect. Aha. Well, it's not perfect, but it's close. Yeah. 1 second. Just gonna fix this up. It's gonna be perfect. And then we're just gonna modify this, fix a few things, and then we'll have a contingency in case chat breaks again. Stupid internet chat, I tell you. Anytime I rely on like a third-party program, it always ends up disappointing me. I wonder why that is. That's true. It's true. I appreciate all chat. Thank you, all chatters. And then can we do like can we chroma out the background? We can try. That's right. I remember now. No, that doesn't work. Anywho, that's what we get. Good enough for now. It's not really fixed per se. It's just another version of multi-grain chat that I have like as just like a fallback. I can't really do opacity with it, which I don't really like. So I was like, man, chat is really quiet today. I'm actually getting a lot of stuff done. All right, add an end on line 8. Well, that's why. Thank you. That's what we need. Perfect. So now it should be able to follow those back, and that did resolve our shell check warning. The Copilot was wrong. Copilot was right. It just needed a little bit of help. Oh, there's no file system in there. It won't work because of how it gets programmed. That's right. I figured something. That's right. What would be the more elegant solution here, just Linux user? Because if we're using the Rust shell and it's getting coded directly into the binary, Rust won't be able to follow this when the script is getting coded into the file. Should we do a common library type setup where it can source that and then all the other scripts can access it? What would be the best way to do it? I mean, honestly, the one way to do it is just put it back to how it was. Yeah, I think merging or something like that. I feel like this would probably be the way to go in the future, but not right now. Let's just keep going for today. Let's just leave it as was. I was just thinking out of the box. It's like, hey, a common library to pull from so we don't have so much redundant code would always be a good thing. But alas, here we are. I did want to, I think it's -E. So if we do run into issues, that would be there. Let's go -E. Let's paste this guy in. I like that. And then let's start modifying Alacritty. Now, common script, I'm going to leave common script there just as a future type thing. I think it'll be fine, but we'll see. LinUtil does not conform to the Linux philosophy. It tries to perform several functions. I understand this might sound ridiculous. It's even hard to install the same package on different distributions. Something always doesn't work. Everything is always updated. Packages disappear. Please, I beg you, if you really want to make it cool, focus on one thing. For example, an energy consumption to make the best utility. Just agree to disagree on that one. I think we can do it. I think we can do it. I know it doesn't conform to the Linux philosophy, or probably the suckless philosophy, which is just do one thing and do it well. But I don't care. I'm doing it. You know, that's the thing. Yeah, on the settings file we did get that again. Yeah, so we're gonna get through what 77 on the kitty script. Was the kitty script wrong at 77? I think it's fine. Although we probably should be like quoting that. Although I don't think you can put a space in a username. Maybe you can. No, I think you can have a space in a username on Linux. That could also be a problem. I know. I love breaking the rules. Rules, you know, they're fun, but sometimes they're meant to be broken. Or at least tried a little bit, you know? All right, we got that. And then for system setup, I'm just kind of going through, fixing a few things up here in case we have any issues. Adding this -E should be like an error check, just in case it does bomb out. It won't spit a whole bunch of errors. So if it can't like access SSH for any reason, it should just say, oh, hey, the script failed. Yeah, we could put it in double quotes and it'll remove the warnings. Hello, cat. Don't do one thing, do everything wrong. That's my philosophy. You know how Facebook has move fast and break things? Me, don't just do one thing, just do everything. And you know, that's what you should do. just go where your heart tells you. And my heart's telling me I can do it. So we're going to try. I may die trying, but it's going to be a fun venture. Let's go. It does one thing, it configures stuff. There we go. I'm going to steal that line. I love it. All right. So in the kitty one, we're going to leave it as is for now. Is there any Linux distributions where you can put a space in the name for the home folder? Does that exist? Because I've never actually tried it. Can anybody give me a yes or a no on that in chat? Because I've never tried to put a space in a Linux username. I've always done like dashes or underscores, that type of thing. It just felt sacrilegious to put a space in. Yeah, let's see. Somebody's going to try it. And then if we need to do because if you can, I definitely want to put a quote in. If you put a space on install Linux. Somebody's going to do it though. I don't think any of us would do it, but somebody out there is going to do it. User add, invalid username, new space user. Use bad name to ignore. Oh my God. So you can do it, but you have to, oh God, can you imagine how many scripts that would break? Yikes. That's cool. All right. I mean, we can do the globbing. It's not really that big a thing to fix. Yep. Just apply it. So we're just going to do double quotes for these and then it's fixed. Sure. Although it didn't fix it down here. Come on. What are you doing? Fix it down here. Watch it use like a special character. That would be such an AI thing to do to code. Just add like a special character that looks like double quotes, but it's not double quotes. You know something like that's going to happen eventually. AI is going to ingest somebody just trolling AI platforms because they get tired of them ripping off people's work. So I don't want to give anybody any bad ideas here. But I also think of, what is it? What is the semicolon? Troll C code. Oh, what is that? Okay. So there's a code troll you can do. There's a special character that looks like a semicolon, but it isn't a semicolon. I think like you have to hold Alt and press a certain amount to get like this ASCII code that will error out, and then you'll just be like, "Where's the error? Use +0022." That'd be so great. I love it. Yeah, that would be awesome. But yeah, oh man. I do love the idea of it. Anywho, for now, we'll go ahead and add the blobs. Nobody should be doing spaces in their Linux username, but in case they do, the script should still run. for you crazy people out there that want to do something like that. So let's go Alacritty. And what we're going to do here, let's just paste it over here. And then for this, let's just do a global replace here. Alacritty. Is there any other places where you see Kitty? I don't see anything else. So, bloop. Good enough. So then we got that, and then we have our Alacritty. We're pulling down this. Instead of the .conf files, we're going to need toml. So toml. Toml. I think this is actually Nordic. And this is toml and Nordic. Do we want Nordic? That's fine. It's already in. And then toml. Please use quotes. Don't use quotes. Quote? Double quotes? I think this is fine. It's called Nord? I don't think we call it Nord. I thought it was Nordic toml. Here, let's go into config. Oops. Alacritty. Yeah, it's Nordic toml. So this should be able to grab it down and install all this with this file. So we just do the setup the environment. We install Alacritty via the package manager. Everything else looks pretty standardized. Let's edit our Rust shell to add Alacritty. It's all right here. And we've also moved everything from the root commands folder into a files folder, which is good. I think that's good. So let's just do a cargo run over here. Let's move over into LinUtil. And if we look at status, cargo run, we're going to build this out. And then we should try Alacritty run. Setup Alacritty command not found. Line 85. Oh, my global replace screwed something up, I bet you. Line 85. Oh, all right, so we have that. I don't think there's anything else. Yeah. One more time. Cargo run. Let's go Alacritty setup. That was cool. Alacritty setup. It kind of like wiped it out and then put it back in. How neat. All right, cool. So now we have Alacritty setup. Let's go lazy G, Alacritty setup, and that should be good. All right, LinUtil's committed for the Alacritty setup. The other thing, I think we need to do should we do the bootloader for Linux utility as well? So like, let's say someone's on TTY, you could do LinUtil. I have to find a way to launch from terminal with the, just Linux users. I think you set this up where if you do LinUtil, oh geez, where are we at here? Let's go and pull this guy down. So if you do LinUtil, and I want to say there was a -c command. Was it compat? It should work. Dash. I want to say you made it like CMD, right? -c. So just a -c. Ensure compatibility code. So then it does this. So then if we're on, let's flip over. I want to test it from TTY now. So from TTY, like if you do Linux util, oh, it still works over here on TTY. Okay. So let's clear that out. But let's do LinUtil with -c. It's kind of cool. Kind of, I don't know. Looking at the difference between the compat modes. It's kind of wild. I don't think we'll need compat mode, but I really like the fact it's there. So yeah. All right, cool. Yeah, the icons are gone, which is fine. I mean, that's to be expected from TTY. TTY always screws up stuff, but as long as it works in TTY, that's the big thing. You can make consoles look like pretty much anything. Like, I think a lot of people think you need these massive libraries of like GUI tools and things of that nature. You don't really need any of that. You can make a very, very small binary. How big is Linux utility now? No, it's actually getting pretty big. 1.8 megs. But still, to be expected. That's kind of neat. Yeah, and I've been switching things out too. You might notice on the code if you review it. I've been switching everything out to use SH for POSIX compatibility compared to Bash. Also switching out to SH. The whole idea came from a pull request from somebody else. And they were like, hey, instead of launching .bash, or as bash script. Moving it to sh will increase your launch times, and I tried it and I noticed it from my eyes. Not even doing it like a time command and going, I now launch 50 milliseconds faster. No, it was a considerable increase in speed. So I was like, all right. So that's why I switched from bash to sh. And I think bash, besides the change in some of the syntax, not a huge change, just a slight change, bash does give like access to arrays and other things with scripting, but most that I don't think we're going to need. I don't think we're going to need it at all. Almost all the scripts can be run in sh, so there's no reason to sacrifice the speed to put it in bash. So that's why all the bash scripts are switching to sh instead. Yeah, sh is just the default shell. Yeah, but it's also not as it's not as big as bash. So like when you go to run a bash script compared to an sh script, the sh script will go faster. Yeah, all the libraries and other things with that, it includes all these sh scripts get packed into it. So it's going to only increase in size because when you look at the sources directory, here, we'll just go like thunar, because at the end of the day, the only file that matters in all this stuff, let's say you clone this repo to anybody out there, the only file that you really need is this one. Everything gets baked into it. So if we go here, we'll go thunar, actually just give some more visual representation for everybody. This right here, everything in the sources, pretty much all of this gets baked in. And my commands, you'll notice, is roughly only 22 kilobytes, actually. How much is the sources directory? It must be the library. I bet you it's the library. Yeah. 47 kilobytes for all the source. So the binary, what's really the bulk of the entire program right now is just the shell libraries that Rust is using. If you make my shell ZSH, it won't work. Really? We could also change it to do environment bash. What about SH? SH should work in ZSH, should it not? Because that's the whole reason why I'm doing SH instead of bash. I guess we could install ZSH and check it out. Let's try. ZSH. Let's just install ZSH. Change shell. Bin. User. Change shell Titus probably. All right, fine. All right, new shell, user, bin. There's no autocomplete. ZSH. All right. Yeah, we're going to make ZSH the default shell. But it should work in ZSH too. So let's launch this. Well, actually, did that launch in bash? Or do I need to log out? No, it's bash right now. All right, we'll just kill it. Let's relaunch. Oh, I probably need to log out, log back in, huh? Yeah. All right, fine. Let's just do a log out. Well, we're still in bash shell. All right, I thought we did a change shell to switch it over to ZSH. Let's reboot. But yeah, part of the reason why I did it the way I did it is so it would be universal. You could use fish, you could use ZSH, you could use bash, and it would still run just fine. And also SH should just be faster and more compliant. I did a CH/SH for the shell. Did I mess up? Oh, I could have broken it. That'd be hilarious. I guess we're about to find out, huh? We're about to find out if we completely broke the machine or not by switching things. If there's somebody out there that can break Linux LTS on Arch, it is me. All right. All right, we're in ZSH now. You can see we're on ZSH, right? So let's go GitHub LinUtil. So here is LinUtil on ZSH. So we can set up bash prompt. It's gonna work. What you talking about, Willis? Works. Rofi setup. Yeah, we shouldn't have any issue with any whatever prompt you're doing. It should work with anything, Phoenix. Like any shell. Yeah. Oh, is fish not POSIX compliant? Why would anyone use fish? Yeah, no. If you use fish, you just deserve what you get. If it's not POSIX compliant, it just is a bad shell. Like, why would you do that? I don't understand. Just my thought. New shell's cool, but not POSIX compliant. Yeah, I just don't understand why you would do that. That's kind of crazy to me. The fish haters are out in chat. Anybody that uses fish is just a bad person and should be ostracized from the community. Cut out. removed, hunted down, exterminated. You dirty fish users out there. Why aren't you normal and just use bash or ZSH? Fish users smell. Oh god, that is too great. That is too great. Yeah, I think we're good though. Like this, it's not. We're not going to hit every single. You can't have 100% compatibility with all Linux setups across the board. But this is going to be well into the upper 90s in compatibility with most systems. So good though. All right, cool. I like it. So we got our auto login with just using a greetd instead of actually a display manager like SDDM or LightDM. We also got Alacritty by default right here. We tested and updated the LinUtil script to support Alacritty now, so you can get this configuration that we did today, and submitted that. I think that's good. I think I'm going to shut it down for today. Tomorrow we'll continue. I think we'll probably do a WinUtil. It's been a little bit for Windows Utility, and there's still some. I think we need to do a full release tomorrow. I'm going to look at through the PRs tonight, see if there's anything extra I want to add in for the full release of the Windows Utility and pushing that version forward, as that should happen soon. And then tomorrow, probably after we get finished with that, we'll probably do Linux Utility again. Oh, should it be bin bash instead of USR bash? It will even work with fish unless you overwrite bin sh. Yeah, no one would do that. That's crazy. Yeah, the thing there is you could also do /bin environment bash. Yeah, I don't know if you'd want to do that. I think probably honestly the bin environment sh. I think it's, what is it, NixOS that needs scripts written with environment in it, and right now we're not compatible with NixOS. Yeah, it doesn't really matter. I think if you look at the bin folder, let's do a ls long listing, right? If you look at sh, I believe it's symlink to USR. Let me double check that for you real fast. Okay, well, I don't feel like scrolling that much, so let's pipe grep sh. Where are you at? sh. Okay. Is linked to bash right now. Where's, oh, actually, let's go bash. No, okay. It's just bash. So what the heck's USR bin look like for bash? That is a binary. That's also a binary. Well, huh. There's two different binaries and different things, and those aren't symlinked. Don't spam just Linux user. That's interesting. Oh, I got you. Yeah, it's symlink. Okay. So never mind. It shouldn't matter either way. Yeah, either way, it's like whatever. It's fine. I don't need to change my shell again. I guess I could do shell bin bash, but again, it does the same thing. Yeah, and making it portable is super important to me. That's why I wanted to do everything in sh, just for portability. And also, I think it'd just be a lot more compatible with more systems where there are going to be people that just use ZSH and have purged like bash. There's strange configurations out there like that. Yeah. All right, well, sweet. Well, we're going to shut it down today. Thank you all for coming out. This was fantastic. A fun stream. We didn't really break the system, which was good. Another day, it lives on once again. Right now, the system is 79 days old, and that's a new record for me and Arch. So we'll just keep up with it. I think it's great. Thanks for the bits, XO. Have a good one. Love you all. See you tomorrow. We're gonna try. I'm trying to get more streams in. Hopefully, I want to get up to getting to like 4 or 5 streams in a week. That'd be great. But definitely at least getting the standard 2. But I think moving forward, we should be able to get 3 streams in, as I've dropped one of my days that I was like allocating for video production and stuff. So we're going to be able to push forward in a lot of these projects, make a lot more progress in all these projects. And then also later at night, I've also been like offline working on projects as well, and just not streaming it, just so I can kind of push forward and go, okay, I have an idea for this. I want to just do it myself. Even if I look a little silly on stream, I don't care. But sometimes I like, hey, I have a really wild idea. And sometimes I just like exploring it and failing on my own too. So I also don't mind failing in front of y'all. It's just fun. So fun times ahead. Tomorrow, We'll jump in, do a little Windows action, and then probably jump over to Linux. We'll work on both these, and we'll have a good one. All right, y'all. Have a great one. Peace.